Hey cutie pies, I'm Lanikia and you're watching What Happened on the Soaps. This is General Hospital Edition. Today is Thursday, May the 26th, 2022. On a scale of 1 to 10, you know how we do. I'm going to go ahead and give this one, what you think? A solid 8. An 8. An 8. Yeah, I'm going to give it an 8. All right, so Sonny takes the stand. Okay, no, I'm not going to start with them. I'm going to start with Cam. So Cam is upset, and Jocelyn runs into him, and she's like, "Cam, I figured out a way to get Esme." And then she can clearly see he's upset, so she's like, "What's going on?" And he tell her about his mom. He was like, "My mom is, not doing well." I don't think he went into details with her, but he just let her know his mom's not doing well. And she was like, "Dang, Cam, I'm sorry to hear that. Like, you want to talk about it? Let's talk about it and everything." So he starts, just opening up to her. And then while he's doing that, and I'm sorry, y'all, I'm not gonna hold you long on certain stories because it wasn't much to them. While he's doing that, Spencer is actually with Esme, and she's like, "Let's have a day. We don't have to go horseback riding, but let's have a picnic and everything." And he said, "Yeah, we could do that, but we have to pack because we out of here." And she was like, "What?" He was like, "Yeah, Ava's gonna give me 10,000." He said, "It's not Quartermain money, but we're gonna live nice." I said, 10,000 a week. How do you expect to like? You can't make it off 10,000 a week, sir. Oh my goodness. And so she said we can live okay with it. And so she's like, because she can't leave that house because Ryan done told her stop worrying about that Spencer boy and focus on Nicholas. So she like, oh my gosh. And so while they're all excited about to get ready, or he's all excited about to get ready, Nicholas comes in. And when Nicholas comes in, he tells. Okay, so Nicholas had been at the hospital and he had been getting on Britt's nerves. I said, "Why is Spencer and Nicholas being jerks to Brit?" I was about to say something else. Why are they being jerks to Brit? But he couldn't. He wanted to know about Elizabeth, and she was like, "I can't give you. There's a HIPAA law. I can't give you this information and all that." But he was like, "We're friends or whatever." And she said, and she went off on him because she was like, "Your son, is just a jerk now and everything." And she was like, "Great parenting there." And she said it might be that you messed him up, pretending to be dead and all that. And so Nicholas is just like, um, he makes a dig at her about being alone too, and she said don't. And so Terry comes over, and when Terry comes over, she just tells him Elizabeth will be able to tell you what's been going on with her soon. We can't give away information or whatever, because Nicholas tried to throw around that he makes donations to the hospital, and Britt was like, the Prince money bags. Of course you're gonna use that or whatever. But Brit just told Nicholas, don't come back to the hospital unless you're dead, or unless you're seriously injured or bleeding or something. Hope to see you soon. Said Brit, uncalled for, but I get it. And so he's made it home now, and so he tells Spencer that something's going on with Elizabeth. And Spencer's like, "I'm gonna go check on Cam," because he said he wanted to tell him their news first, but of course, Esme got in the way and she told the news or whatever. Esme got in the way and said, "We'll hear your news first." So of course, when Nicholas told him Spencer about Cam, he left. And so then Esme was there with Nicholas by herself, and she gonna tell, and he said, she gonna act like she was so upset. And he was like, "What's the matter?" She said, "Cam, he's just," because she didn't go because she said she didn't want to upset Cam or anyone. And Nicholas says he's being a good friend but a bad boyfriend. And she was like, "Yes." She said, and then he says, hey, I can't remember what Nicholas said about maybe them going to dinner or something like that. She said, "But we're gonna pack because we're moving out." And he said, "Moving?" And she said, "Yes, Ava gave Spencer his some of his trust or whatever, so we can now afford a place." And he was like, "What?" And she said, "Oh, you didn't know?" I said, "Now, girl, you know he didn't know. I love me some Esme, old sneaky self." And he said, I gotta go, Esme." And she said, "I hope I didn't ruin anything. I hope that I didn't make something bad or whatever." And And then she was like, it's just a matter of time. And Esme drinking and stuff. I said, I swear to goodness, is this girl older than what she's supposed to be? Because if she Felicia child, as they were trying to imply or act like the other day, then Esme would be just a few years older than than Spencer and all the rest of them. She would at least be 8 years older than them. She would be about what, 25, 26, somewhere up in there. But anyways, I said, okay, Esme, with your sneaky self. Now, Nicholas done, so now let's wrap up them. So Spencer has left and he went and he spoke to Cam or whatever. And Jocelyn, she was cool because she knew like Spencer and Cam are still talking. So she stepped back and Spencer just told Cam, like, I know you can't really talk right now, but whatever you need, if you need something, even if it's just for me to watch Jake and Aiden, I got you or whatever. I heard about your mom. I don't know all the details, and I know you don't want to give them. You can't talk right now, but I just got you. And Spencer was like, "Thanks for that." I mean, Cam was like, "Thanks for that, Spencer." So Spencer leaves, because he going to the gallery to work, right? So when Spencer leaves, Josh is just like, I don't understand how he can be such a good friend to you, but so horrible to Trina. And she was like, I figured out a way to get Esme. And he was like, Cam was like, tell me. She said, but I don't know. He was like, no, 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 tell me. And so she told him, let's break up her and Spencer. And he was like, we can't do that. He was like, and she was like, why not and everything. And he just was like, I don't want to talk about Esme. Can we go one day without talking about Esme? And then he left her. And she was like, I shouldn't have. You could tell she was like, I shouldn't have said something. I should have known he was upset and just not said anything. No, you shouldn't have, Carly Jr. You always have a one track mind about stuff. But anyways, where we go? Oh, so then we go to Nicholas. So Nicholas is at the gallery. I mean, Nicholas. Okay, so Ava and Victor are talking, right? Because she out having a drink, right? And so they talking and she like, your son is moved Esme in. He just doing too much. She said, and what it brought up in our relationship is we don't have trust. And he says, well, the Cassadine men are like that, but if we find somebody who could hold us down through it. And she said, listen, I'm not that girl. I'm not that woman. Either we're gonna have trust and I'm gonna get everything I want out of a relationship, or I don't want it at all. And he said, Nicholas is a fool not recognizing what he got in you. And she like, yes, I am. Now, Avon got a little tipsy. Ava and Victor a little bit tipsy at this point because they knocking back dirty. She knocking back dirty martinis like it's going out of style. So they're a little bit tipsy when they talking. And then we see Nicholas Nicholas walk in. Can't nobody do the I've been caught look like Ava. She get up in them shoulders and look. That would be tickling me. But that's it with them. So then we go over back to Spencer. Now Trey, because he was going to the gallery, right? Well, he come in the gallery and he see Trina with Rory, because Rory done came to the gallery on his day off, right? And he talking to Trina, and they just going back and forth. Like we can find out a little bit more about him. He I guess he went to college, but he was like, this is not for me. And so he said he wanted to be one of the people to help when he saw the PCPD. And he was like, that's for me. And he said, and one of the things that I want to help is like you, he says, because he don't believe Trina did this no more than anybody else who ever met Trina believes this. And so he said, I want to help you or whatever. And so then he was asking her, would she go to the museum with him, like kind of like a date or whatever? And she told him, she was like, she want to go. And he said, but no. And he was like, well, if you don't want to go to the museum, let's go to the pool. And she was like, I can't. And he was like, why? And she said, because I don't want to mess up your life. I got a lot of stuff, because she was telling him about the Title IX and is it Title IX? Anyway, she was telling him about all that going on. And he was like, he was supporting her. This is a cute little couple. And quiet as kept. The teens got the best storylines. They got the best storylines on what's going on. The adults messing it up. But the teens got the best storylines and everything. So anyway, so she tells him, I don't want to mess up your life. And he like, I'm a police officer and everything. And he just tell her, like, I'm here to support you. This is my day off. And I spend it with, I don't mind if people frown up on it. I'm a big boy. I can handle that. And I want to spend my day off with you. And I said, well, okay, Rory. And so then Spencer come in and he see them or whatever, planning their little date and everything. Cause Spencer, for those of you who don't, yeah, cause I know y'all be getting out of the soaps. So just to recap, Spenser is trying to get information on Esme so that he can help Trina. So he being a jerk to Trina and all them or whatever, but he really do deep down care about her. But sir, you should have told Trina and Joss and all them so they could have helped you. Because right now Trina got a new love interest and he applying a little pressure. I'm just saying that's not gonna be she's not gonna be waiting on you when all this is over with, sir. She's gonna be with Rory. But let's move right along. So that's it with them, y'all. So then we see okay, so then we see um Britt and Terry, because Terry did tell Nicholas where Elizabeth was and she'll be fine. And so she goes to talk to Britt and she was like, "What's going on with you?" And so she tells him about how y'all remember that day Spenser was so nasty to Britt. And she was like, "I thought he was gonna end up being somewhat of a good, she said he was spoiled and everything, but I thought he would turn out good." She said, "But he turned out like one of them." And she said he gave me that tone. She said, that tone like when people act like, "Oh, you're so pathetic, you're alone, and like they feel sorry for you or whatever." And Terry was like, "Oh, girl, yes, I know that tone." And so she went to talking to her about, Britt wants to be in a relationship. Now there is supposed to be a man that comes in, I believe, sometime at the end of this month. It's supposed to be her love interest, but he got something to do with Dante. So Dante, because Dante is a really good actor. Y'all need to give him a better storyline than what y'all be giving him. So I hope it's gonna be a man that has to deal with Dante's past. So I'm looking forward to that storyline whenever it comes through. But getting back on point, Nikki. Getting back on point, Britt is just like she ready for somebody too. She ready to go home and have somebody waiting for her at home and everything. And Terry, so then Terry started talking and she said, "Well," because Britt was like, "There's a little mixer," and she said, "Well, I could go and be your your wing woman or whatever." She said, "But I'm kind of in a little relationship, it's new." And she said, "Well, dang." Britt was like, "Well, I didn't know about this." So she started talking about Chet and everything and and all that, and the sister and all that. And so Britt was just like, "Well, enjoy your your relationship and everything." So then we see that Chet comes to talk to Terry because he has news for her. Pause right there. So then we see that Chet speaks. Okay, so Amy is on the phone and she's telling somebody, "Yes, take care of that for me," or whatever. And I'm like, "What you done did, girl?" But so then we see that Chet comes in and he says he got accepted to this position that he didn't even apply for. And she said, "Well, maybe one of your army brothers or something did." And he said, "Nah, they wouldn't have did that when I asked him." And he said, "But anyways, they accepted the position." They accepted. He didn't send his resume over, but they liked him and they offered him a position. They said, "Unfortunately, it's in Chicago." And Amy is just like, "Oh, that's a bummer, but it's okay because it's closer than when you were in the service, and Chicago is only like 2 hour flight, so we still get to see each other." He said, "Yeah, but I kind of started this new thing or whatever." And she said, "Well, my boss and everything," and he was telling her that he was like, "She cool, she's cool." And he said, "And I like her." And she said, "I mean, it'll be okay. It's only be a few days." But he likes her. Like when you get into a new relationship and you like kind of liking that person or whatever, you want to see where it goes. And that's what he wants to do. She said, "But this is a great opportunity and all that." So she convinced him that yeah, that he it's just a new relationship, and this is his career, and he can see where that goes. So that's why. And so then we see Amy gets off the phone. I mean, Amy gets back on the phone after he leaves, and she tells that person, "Yeah, thank you for accepting the resume and all that." So it was Amy who did this, moving her brother away. So then we see Chet goes and speaks to Terry, and he's about to tell her that he's leaving and everything. And then Amy and Britt connect up, and she says, "Oh, my brother is going to talk to his new love interest about this career opportunity or whatever," because he did want to get Terry's opinion on it. And Britt is like, "Yeah, that's what you want at the end of the day, somebody to talk to. If something going on in your life, you want to have that partner to share it with, and y'all bounce idea, And Amy was looking like, "Oops, yes, girl, mind your business." Don't understand people. Mind your business. So that's it with them, y'all. And I think I've covered everyone today except the court case. So now Sonny is on the stand, right? So Sonny is on the stand, And Scott is asking him about Nixon Falls. And Sonny says, listen, at the end of the day, I didn't want to know who I was. He said, I liked my life in Nixon Falls. And the truth be told, he enjoyed his life. And so everybody keeps saying, I hate the way they did it, Sonny. I hate the, but Sonny enjoyed being Mike. I feel like he enjoyed not having to worry about, look over his shoulder, worry about other families, worry about like all of the stuff that comes with being a mob boss. Like when he thinks about his time at Nixon Falls, it's relaxing. And that's what he wanted. Like all these people want the old Sonny and everything, but the old Sonny was always having to get into altercations with people. He was always having to defend his territory. And I'm sorry, I just feel like he's tired of that. He doesn't want that. He's gotten up in the grandparent. He just wants to be a grandparent. He just wants to have a family and just chill out. That's what I feel. That's what I hear when I hear Sonny talk. But anyway, he tell them he don't blame Nina. And Scott did what he was supposed to do. And then Diane came up and she did what she was supposed to do. She made him talk about Nina being the one to take Avery. How Sonny, you were not the only one affected. And he because he says what Nina did is a grievance against me. I forgive Nina. It's okay. And she said, well, you weren't the only one affected, Sonny, or whatever. And so Diane was going at Sonny or whatever, and he was like, Diane, enough. Because it was just like, I'm okay with Nina. He was like, I understand that they might not be or whatever. He said, and they were trying to talk about, he said, Nina taking Avery was different. He said she was having a breakdown, and he was like, Lord knows I've had them. Like, I've had many breakdowns and everything. So I can't fault her. He doesn't fault her for it or whatever. So Diane did what she was supposed to do with Sonny. Scott did what he was supposed to do. And they asked Scott, do you need to bring somebody else up? And she was like, and the judge was like, stop with theatrics. And I was like, what theatrics is Scott doing? But okay, judge. But so Scott says, yes, she wanted to bring Michael to the stand. So when he brings Michael to the stand, and they did ask Sonny, do you feel like Nina should see Wiley? And he says yes. That, at first he told him, he said, that is Michael's, he told Diane or Scott, no, he told Scott, that is Michael's decision and Willow's. And he said, Scott was like, but you're on the stand, so I'm asking you. And he was like, well, in my opinion, yes, she should be able to see Wiley. And Carly was like, I'm sorry, sit your butt down. Like, sit in the back. And Michael was like, I expected that or whatever. And Diane was like, don't worry, I'm going to take care of it. So that's when she went up there and started grilling Sonny or whatever. So then after Sonny gets down or whatever, Nina turns around and she thanks him for, trying to help her. And so then Scott calls Michael to the stand. And I said, why you calling Michael? Now, y'all know Nina said she got some tricks up her sleeve. And I said, girl, you need them. You need them at this point. So she called Michael to the stand or whatever, right? And so when she calls Michael to the stand, I mean when Scott calls Michael to the stand, Scott asks Michael about Claudia. And I said, wait, I said, wait, is that the woman that Michael killed? And then he went to prison? That's that Claudia, right? Like she was trying. He gonna say he was trying to protect his mama and everything, but that's the one, right? I don't know. I'm gonna have to look at fandom to see. But that was the General Hospital today, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Even if you don't subscribe, it's okay because I'll still be putting these videos out. But hit that like button for me, and I will see you tomorrow, Friday's episode. Bye.